tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well with everyone. I've been having a rough time here. I don't know what's going on with this technology thing, but we've been trying to get on the air for 30 minutes now, 33 minutes. So we're a little bit late coming on. So I want to apologize. To everyone for not being prompt, for not being able to get on right at 6 o'clock, but we are on now. So I thank you for your patience. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate my listening audience. I always tell the world that I have the greatest audience in the world, and I really do believe that. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in every Monday, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I really do appreciate you tuning in. Once again, I apologize for the tardiness, if you will. Technical difficulties have been plaguing me. I'm not sure what exactly was going on, but I wasn't getting connected to what I needed to connect to. And I've been troubleshooting for the last 45 minutes, trying to get everything back up and running. I think that we are up and running. However, I'm going to say this. If I lose you guys, particularly on Facebook, if I lose you, I apologize. Just go to the website, WPMMradio.com, and you can listen from the website or download the app. You can download the app from the website or go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download the app as well. So, but yeah, it's been interesting trying to get on the air. Technology is does not want to cooperate today. Does not want to cooperate. I think there's an issue in the area with the Wi-Fi. And if you're doing anything on internet radio, Wi-Fi is crucial. Obviously, you got to have that Wi-Fi in order to get your signal out. And I've been playing with it, and let's go and see what happens. But if we lose you again, if I lose you on Facebook, if you listen on Facebook, just go to the app, WPMM Radio, or the website, WPMMradio.com, and you can listen there. It is Monday, people. It is Monday, the start of the week. We're again running late, but we're going to get these topics in today. Hope you had a good weekend. It was Cinco de Mayo weekend, if you will. Friday was Cinco de Mayo, Independence Day for our Mexican brothers and sisters. So I hope you had a safe weekend. Hope that you were responsible. I keep preaching that word, responsible, because I don't want to see anybody get caught up in no foolishness by not being responsible. So I hope you had a good weekend. The weather, for what I can remember, I think the weather held up pretty good Saturday. I think we got some rain on Sunday evening here late locally, if you will, in Pensacola area. But it was pretty decent. Got a chance to see Uncle Charlie this weekend. If you don't know who Uncle Charlie is, it's Charlie Wilson. First name Charlie, last name Wilson. Got to check him out in Atmore this weekend. Pretty good show. Charlie he's getting up there in age, but he's still doing his thing. We have Ms. Rivers riding with us tonight. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Mr. Salter has joined us tonight as well. But if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. The views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Now that we got that out the way. But let's go ahead and get into these topics. What I want to talk about tonight is something very, 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 very important, particularly to the Black community. We're broadcasting here in Pensacola, Florida. We are in the district that we have the child molester Matt Gaetz is our representative in this district as far as in Congress. Yes, I did say child molester because he's look it up. We'll look it up. But Matt Gaetz has introduced legislation that is going to be crucial and very, very significant in the plight of the Black community. And what I mean by that is he has introduced pretty much a nationwide stand your ground law. And this is not your standard. I know you say, well, Joe, we already got stand your ground law in Florida. Yes, we do have stand your ground laws. But pedophile Gaetz, he wants to kind of expand that. He wants to expand the provisions, if you will, in the stand your ground and make it nationwide. And let me tell you why it's so important. It's important because we've had things happen in the last few years here, if you will, where there's a lot of Black people that are getting killed and or injured by what we may call vigilantes, or what we may call people who think that they're going to be robbed or something to that effect. We got Black people being killed. With this bill that's been Bill Gaetz is introducing. Again, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share because this is very important, very, very important information. What he wants to do is expand the stand your ground law. In that expansion, basically, the way the stand your ground law lies as it stands today in the state of Florida, you still have a duty to retreat. And in that duty to retreat, what that means is if you are in a situation where you are being attacked, accosted, assaulted, what have you, you have a duty to try to remove yourself from that situation. In other words, you can't act first based on your fear. You have to try to remove yourself first. And then if you can't remove yourself, and if you are in imminent danger, then you can use force to get yourself out of danger. And once you're out of danger, that duty to retreat comes back into play. Okay, hope you're following me. But in this piece of legislation that's being pushed and introduced into the House of Representatives by Matt Gaetz, it eliminates that duty to retreat. In other words, you don't have to try to flee. You don't have to try to seek safe haven. You don't have to try. You can basically just shoot someone. You can basically just injure someone. And also, the change in the stand your ground law as well. It's the new law is stating, and I'm not reading anything, is just what I've read up on it and I heard some things about it. But what it is, if you reasonably believe that someone is going to attack you, I'm going to say that again. If you reasonably believe that someone is going to attack you, you can use force against that person. And if you wasn't listening, I'm going to say it again. If you reasonably believe that someone is going to attack you, you can use force to kill that person or to injure that person. And here's why this is so significant. And here's why it's just kind of ironic that this bill is being proposed at this time. We know we had the individual there that shot the young man, a 16-year-old. He showed up at the wrong door and rang the doorbell, and he was shot. The 16-year-old was shot because he rang the wrong doorbell to pick up his brothers and sisters. With this new stand your ground law, that individual that shot that 16-year-old would not be arrested because all he have to do was say, feared that that person ringing my doorbell was going to harm me. Y'all not understanding the importance of what I'm saying here. All that individual had with, if this law passed, all that individual had to do is say that I believe that that person was there to harm me. Therefore, I shot. And if you know, if you already realize, it took days before that individual was arrested, before they filed charges against uh, that 80-year-old man that shot that 16-year-old kid. It took a few days for charges. He was questioned the night before, the night of the situation. He was at the station for an hour and 20 minutes. He was questioned. He was let go, and he was able to go home. With this new legislation, if it passes, the one that Matt Gaetz, the representative for this Northwest Florida, if this passes, that young man's death would not have resulted in an arrest for anyone. Rittenhouse, what name? Rittenhour, the one that shot the people at the Black Lives Matter protests. Under that rule, he got off already without the law in place. He got off. He killed people. He got off without that law being in place. With that law in place, he would have never been brought up on charges. He would have never even went to trial, because all he had to do was say, I felt, I believed that I was in danger of being harmed. The young man that's killed in New York on the train, they claim he was acting erratic. He was put into a chokehold by another passenger for 15 minutes. He died. He was killed. There's no charges that has been filed to date. The way it's going right now, there may not be charges. However, if this bill passes, there's no question that it would not be charges filed in that case. I forgot, Neely is his name, that was killed. So what this means, what this law particularly means, if you read between the lines, is that these people on the right, such as Matt Gaetz, who introduced this bill, they are paving a way for all the people that went in the Ahmaud Arbery case, for those gentlemen that chased him down and killed him, or whatever the case. They could have said, I was in danger. He was in my neighborhood. I felt like he was going to attack me, so therefore we killed him. You know, Eric Gardner, he was selling loose cigarettes. I felt like he was going to attack me, so we're going to kill him. That is what this particular law is setting up. It is setting up an avenue to where people can kill you, and all they have to do is say, I reasonably thought that I was in danger of being harmed. And this bill, and I'm gonna say it straight up, this bill is only coming about because there are white people going to jail for killing black people after they saying that they was in fear. That's why this bill is being introduced by the pedophile Matt Gaetz. I don't think this bill has it will pass the House, because the House is Republican, so it will pass through the House. I don't think it has a chance in the Senate to pass, especially with these additional provisions to where you just believe that you're going to be harmed. Not that you've been harmed, that you believe that you may be harmed. In the case with down South Florida, Trayvon Martin. If that law would have been in place, all that idiot had to say was Uh, I felt Trayvon was going to attack me, so therefore I shot him, and then he would have got off. It would have been no questions asked. He would have been let go. Trayvon would have died. Even though he still got off. Zimmerman was his name. Still got off from killing Trayvon Martin. But with this law, there wouldn't have been a trial. There wouldn't have been charges. There wouldn't have been anything because he would have been following what the law says. Good evening, Ms. Watkins. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Like I said, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share what we're talking about. Is the new legislation that's being introduced by Matt Gaetz and the Stand Your Ground law, making it nationwide Stand Your Ground law with additional provisions. The duty to retreat being removed, and all you have to have is a reasonable belief that you're going to be harmed in order to shoot someone. Now, here's the deal. Here's the flip side. Here's the flip side. If this law is passed, and I guarantee you that if this law passed, and for instance, take me for instance, if someone shows up on my doorstep, banging on my door, and I'm gonna say a white individual shows up on my doorstep, banging on my door, and with the way the law is being introduced, at that point in time, I have a fear that I'm going to be harmed because somebody is banging on my door aggressively. So if it's my house, white man on the other side of the door, banging on my door, and I shoot that man through that door, I guarantee you there will be amendments to that law. I would bet my house on it. Either it would be amendments to the law, or that whole stand your ground rule would basically go out the window. It would not apply in my case. Because the purpose of this bill, whether you believe it or not, the purpose of this bill is to allow white people who are scared of black people to shoot and kill or to injure, to bring bodily harm to someone that they just feel like is going to do them harm. That's why we must pay attention to what is going on in our Congress, uh, in our state level Congress and Senate, in our local city council. That's why we need to be up on what's going on because of situations like this. If this bill passed, you will see a wave of black people dying just because they're black. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And you will see. You think that the justice system is lenient against white people who kill black people now, or put in situations where they have to harm a black person. You think the justice system is lenient now. Let this bill pass. Like I say, it's going to pass. It's going to pass through the House. It shouldn't make it through the Senate, but you never know. But I would challenge every one of you to read up on this bill. Just Google Matt Gaetz, uh, federal stand your ground law, and read this bill, and you will see how this bill is written and orchestrated to where it is going to set up a killing field for black people. And let me also say, because I'm saying this doesn't mean I hate white people, I don't like white people, this and another. I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying it because it's true. I don't hate anybody for the color of their skin. I hate ignorance. I hate stupid people. I hate racist people. And this bill that Matt Gaetz is proposing is a slap in the face to black people, and it's a death sentence to a lot of innocent black people who would not do anything wrong. You run up on somebody, you go in the wrong driveway just to turn around and make a U-turn and go back the other way. And if that person feel like they're in fear of you harming them or coming to their house to harm them, they can shoot and kill you and do it in a legal sense. That's scary, people. That is extremely scary, and we cannot allow this type of bullcrap to go through and become law. That's why we have to get out and vote. I'm assuming somebody got something to say about this particular topic, and if you do, if you're listening on Facebook, drop your comment into the comment section on Facebook. Drop your comments, because I really do want to hear from somebody who has an opinion on this particular situation, someone who may have knowledge of it. Drop your opinions and your thoughts into the comment section, if you will. I really would appreciate it. Moving on, because I don't know if I'm going to do a 4 hour or how it's going to go, because I was coming on late, and I think we got shows coming up after me on WPMM radio. So we're just going to roll and see how it goes. Let's see, Mr. Salter said that's very scary. What if you have kids in the car? The way this bill is structured, the way the bill reads, all that person has to do is have a reasonable fear that they're going to be attacked or they're going to be harmed. So I guess to answer your question, Mr. Salter, if you have kids in the car, your kids are at risk of dying as well, the way this bill is written. I need for you guys to understand the importance of this bill that's being introduced by our congressman in the Northwest Florida area, pedophile Matt Gaetz. I need you guys to understand the importance of this, because it's not going to look good for black people. I promise you it's not, because we have some ignorant, racist assholes out there that are itching for a opportunity to do harm to someone in the eyes of the law, under the umbrella and the protection of the law. And this law will give them that vehicle that they need to carve that path to do you harm, even if you're in an innocent situation. You get in an argument with somebody, a verbal argument, and you fear that someone is going to harm you, you can use force against that person. What kind of bullshit is that? But we have to stay up on it, people. Hopefully this bill, and the only way we can't stop this bill at this point is up to our Congress, is up to the House of Representatives, is up to the Senate to stop this bill from happening. It will pass through the House. I'm almost 100% positive it will pass through the House of Representatives. I don't think it's going to get to the Senate, but we never know, because we have people in the Senate like Joe Manchin, who's supposed to be a Democrat that votes on the Republican side. He's an idiot. You have people like Christian Sinema that's supposed to be a Democrat that votes with the Republican side of the aisle. And I think we have a 4-seat majority in the Senate. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look that up, but I think we have a 4-seat majority with the if it comes to a tie with the vice president being the tying vote. So look it up, people. Matt Gaetz, federal stand your ground law. Read it, understand it for yourself, and I think you will come to the same conclusion that I have came to in regards to this bill. Mr. Salters says, uh, is that the hatred is real, folks. We've been uh, pleading uh, that we all get together. And let me say this: I can read, I just can't see right now. Every day that I get off work, I look at a computer all day at work, and when I get off, it takes about 3 hours for my eyes to focus back. So I'm struggling to see. So don't think I can't read. So, but let's see. Moving on, real quick. Moving on. We have mass shootings. Another mass shooting in Texas where someone opened fire in a outdoor mall. 8 dead, 7 injured. Individual shot multiple times with an AR-15. Um, this was in Allen, Texas, outside of Dallas. Um, again, AR-15. This is the weapon that has been talked about forever. One of the weapons, these assault type rifles, these military style rifles that are on the streets that are mostly used in mass shootings. Not saying that nobody else use anything else, because we have people using handguns and whatever else they can get their hands on to do these mass shootings. But this one, an AR-15, 8 people dead, 7 injured. Uh, I was listening to a story where there was a bystander that was trying to treat the injured and the wounded, if you will, and he went up to one person and he rolled them over, thinking that he was going to be able to administer some type of aid to assist that person. We rolled them off, found out their face was gone. So these weapons don't just put a small hole in you and that's it. These weapons do damage. These weapons tear flesh, will tear your body apart, and it's coming at you in rapid succession. So uh, it, all you have to do is squeeze. Once you squeeze that trigger, and that automatic uh, weapon starts to engage, within a second, you probably done fired off 10 rounds, and all those rounds are aimed at the same spot. So all 10 of those rounds probably penetrated. And I'm not saying she got hit 10 times, but we're going to speculate. So once again, we have the Republicans giving their thoughts and their prayers. Dear Republicans, fuck you and your thoughts and your prayers. And I mean that sincerely. I mean that from the heart. Because your thoughts and your prayers continue to get people killed. I don't know what you're praying for. I don't know what you're thinking about. But whatever it is, it's continually getting people killed because you are so caught up in the politics and in the money of things that you don't respect human life. And I'm the first one to say that just passing common sense gun laws is not going to stop gun violence. I know this. There's no indication that passing common sense gun laws is going to completely stop uh, stupid people from killing people. It's not going to happen. However, it will make it harder for those idiots to get a hold of those weapons. It will make it harder for someone who has been uh, known for severe mental illness to not allow them to purchase an AR-15. It would get these, it would make these assault weapons illegal. And for you people that want to holler, well, you know, my Second Amendment right is to have this and have that, whatever. That Second Amendment was written way before you had these military style weapons on the streets. When this law was, when the Second Amendment came about, you know, it took you, it took you, you know, all of 3 minutes to load a round and put your gunpowder in the gun and pack it down and all this, and so you can fire off another round. When nobody was killing each other in mass shootings when the Second Amendment was written. And also with this Second Amendment, if you look at any other country any other country in this world, you will see that the United States is the only country. The United States is the only country that is dealing with the level of gun violence that the United States of America is dealing with. We're right up on 200 mass shootings. I think 199. I think we're at 199. We have had 199 mass shootings in the United States in 2023. I thought, I wasn't about to say in the last 10 years. In 2023, we're only 5 months in to this year. We have had more mass shootings than there are days that we have had in the year 2023. And a mass shooting is categorized as any one incident where there are four or more people that are affected or injured or killed by gunfire. We've had 199 mass shootings in the year 2023. And we're 5 months in. At this pace, if we continue by the end of the year, we'll be sitting at about 500 mass shootings if we continue this same pace. $500 shootings. There's only 365 days in a year. But at this pace, 500 mass shootings by the end of the year. No other country has this issue. We have this issue because we allow money to take over human decency. We allow people or organizations like the NRA to dictate how our government legislates. And that's crazy. And it seemed to be happening in Texas more than any other state. It seemed like every time you turn around, there's a mass shooting in Texas. And the governor of Texas, Abbott, had the nerve to show up at a prayer vigil for these people that were shot and killed in Allen, Texas. But he's just offering his thoughts and his prayers. I saw an interview with him where he was asked about the gun violence in Texas, what have you. Then they do what they always do. They blame it on mental health. It's a mental health issue. Yes, we have people that have mental issues, but if they're not, if they are made to where they can't get their hands on a AR-15, or made to where they can't buy a firearm, a handgun, a shotgun, if they are mentally, have been evaluated and are mentally ill, that would help the issue. It would do more than what your thoughts and prayers are doing. But with this particular shooter, this last shooter in this shooting in Allen, Texas, he was an ex-military person, and he was ex-military because he had mental issues. He was ex-military. Military put him out because he had mental issues. And now he's shot and killed 8, injured 7. And he was able to obtain, according to my understanding at this point, he was able to obtain a weapon legally after being put out in the military because of mental issues. Now, if we had just common sense gun laws, this particular person, if they would have got a hold of a gun, it wouldn't have been on their own efforts. They would have had to get it from someone because they would not have been able to purchase a weapon. So I'm tired of Republicans issuing their thoughts and prayers. Damn your thoughts and prayers. Republicans, get off your ass and do something. Again, it's not going to completely stop the madness in regards to these mass shootings, but it will slow it down. I think, we've had 199 mass shootings. I think if we had common sense gun laws, just common sense gun laws, and taking these assault weapons off the streets, I just personally believe in it. There's no real data to back it up. But instead of sitting at 199 now in the United States of America, where the Second Amendment rules, we may be at 125. So we could have saved 75 people from situations of being in a situation where they are victims of a mass shooting. Even though that still sounds terrible, but that's 75 times 4. Whatever. I went to public school. I can't do the math real quick. That's 600 people, I think. I did the math wrong. That's 300 people. So you say 75. If we can avoid through common sense gun laws, out of 200 mass shootings, if we could have knocked that down to 125. There would be 300 people who would not have fallen victim to a mass shooting. And if you don't think that makes a difference, then something wrong with you. I'd rather see. I'd rather not see anyone hurt. But if anyone's going to get hurt, let's keep the numbers at a minimum. We will never get rid of gun violence. It's not going to happen because we have idiots all over the place that are just shooting people just to be shooting people. And I'm not talking about the people who are responsible gun owners that are only picking up their firearm or will only use their firearm in a case of self-defense. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about these idiots out here that are trigger happy, that are full of hatred, full of racism, and full of just stupidity to where they want to go out and shoot people. Those are the ones I'm making reference to. So, with that being said, my hour is supposed to end at 7 o'clock. Again, I was on late because I had some issues with some technical issues. I didn't get on for the first 30 minutes of the show, but we went about 15 minutes after. So we got 45 minutes in. I think we got a show coming up after here on WPMM Radio, music show. So I need to get up off here. So the next person can take over and do their thing and play that good R&B, jazz, neo soul, independent, and hip hop music that we have on WPMM. But we got to stay vigilant, people. We got to stay woke. Damn DeSantis, because he said Florida is where woke come to die. we got to stay woke, people. We got to be aware of what's going on around us. That again, we started off the show with that bill that was introduced by Ron DeSantis into Congress, um, which is going to make it legal for basically it's going to make it legal to kill black people just because you're scared of them. That's what they should call a bill. Kill black people because you're scared. But we have to, hopefully, our Congress will stand up, our Senate will stand up and block that particular bill from going through. It was a nationwide stand your ground law that the provisions have been stretched out, if you will, to just allow you to shoot someone if you have a reasonable fear of being hurt or being attacked. They don't have to do anything. You just have to believe that they're going to do something to you. So, but anyway, I thank you guys for joining me here. I've got to check the dates, but I know we're coming up on 3 years on the show. And for the third year, I want to try to do something different, try to do something special, what have you. So we're going to see how that goes. We're going to see how that goes. I don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to take place, or what have you. But just stay tuned for information on that. And that's a shame. I can't remember the date that I started. I think it's in June or July. It's in June. One of them days. Somebody out there knows. But anyway, coming up on 3 years, I want to do something. I definitely want to do something to show my appreciation for my listeners. Try to come out, fellowship, do something somewhere. May do a live broadcast somewhere where the people that listen to the show can come hang out with me and we can do the show live. So we'll see what happens. But I really do thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate you listening to the show. Love each and every one of you. I want all you to stay safe. Again, I'm not against anyone who has common sense. I am just against stupidity and racism. I can't stand stupid people, and I hate racist people. And I will speak out against them as long as I have breath in my body. I promise you I will. So, but on Thursday, we're going to have some more topics coming up. We're going to talk about this. The verdict should be back in the rape trial of Donald Trump. By then, we should have that. We could talk about that. By the way, Trump didn't even show up at the trial. In civil trial, if it was a criminal trial, he didn't have a choice. But in the civil trial, he was able to have his representation there, his lawyers, but didn't even bother to show up. You've been accused of rape. You've been sued for rape, and you don't even show up to defend yourself. And we'll talk about what he said because he's an idiot. Oh my God, he's an idiot. But we'll talk about that on Thursday. We'll talk about it on Thursday. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, people. You guys make sure you take care of yourself, take care of each other. Each one teach one. Each one teach one. If we have teach the right thing, not that bull crap. Each one teach one the right thing. We can make this world a better place to be in. So until Thursday, 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.